So now individual bone. So my recommendation is that read the first few slides up to here very well, know it very well, in and out. Once you know those ones, then these other bones are a little bit easier, because that's a description of each bone in more detail, but at least you have to know where they are and some basic structures about each one. So this is the frontal bone. Okay, so this is the forehead area. This area, this is called the frontal suture. Why? Because initially the two frontal bones were separate and then they fused together in early childhood. And this flat area, this is called a frons. Glabella is a prominent area between the two eyebrows, above the nose between the two eyebrows. And this is a margin, this is called supraorbital. So supraorbital means above the orbit. This is the margin, and this is the notch. So notch is like half circle kind of structure, so sharper than the margin. Okay, so this is a supraorbital notch. And if you look at it from the inferior to superior, going from bottom looking upward, this is making the roof of the orbital cavity, so making this area of the orbital cavity. In the middle you have the frontal sinus, and some people may get headache if they have sinusitis. And this is this area that you see, this is the margin, and here is the supraorbital notch, and above that is the foramen. So this is the foramen here. Somewhere here it should be, it's hard to see it in this one, it's like this and this. So it's a little bit different for everybody, is the exact location, but this is the notch area, and for the supraorbital foramen is around this area, and then is the supraorbital margin. So there's three different structures in that area. And finally, this is the lacrimal fossa, and this is where lacrimal gland is located, lacrimal gland. Okay, so this is the parietal bone. There's two of them. This is located laterally and superiorly. See, laterally and superiorly. There's not much is going on there. This is a flat bone, and this here some lines here which is difficult to see in this image. So one is here, one is here. This is different muscles attached to it, and they are called superior and inferior temporal lines. So anteriorly, the temporal, the parietal bone is attached to the frontal bone, and posteriorly is attached to the occipital bone, inferiorly attached to the temporal bone. The temporal bone, if you look at it, this is located laterally and inferiorly. So there's one on each side. It has two parts. One is the flat area. This flat area is called squamous, and this irregular area at the bottom, and that's called petrous. Petrous means a stone, so it's or a rock, so it's irregular in shape. You have different processes here. The one is called mastoid process. Again, if I ask you what mastoid means here, you have to go back to that chapter 6 and look at it. Mastoid usually means a round bony process, and this is the sterlite process, and this is the zygomatic process that attaches to the zygomatic bone. And again, you can see the zygomatic process in the background here, and the mastoid process in the background here, and also the zygomatic at the background. So this is a better image to see these three different processes. Also, you can see external acoustic meatus, and this is where external ear is attached to it, and sounds pass through this area, and that goes to the middle ear, and from there it goes to the inner ear. The medial view does not have a lot of things going on here. The most important one is this one, and this is called internal acoustic meatus. This is where cranial nerve 8 leaves the temporal bone, and then it goes to the area, the lower part of the brain, that's called brain stem. So